I'll move to accept the minutes.
And I second. Okay, all say aye. Aye. The minutes have been passed. So now we'll go to number 3, which is exciting. It's the Build Back Better Regional Challenge Information Gathering. And Jim, you're on because you're the only person that really knows what's going on with this.
That's scary.
So now we'll go to
Wait a
number
second.
3, which is exciting.
There's Cheryl right there.
there.
No, we need that off there. All right, there we go. Where is?
That's too intense.
Right there.
See yourself like that. I can see all the extra weight I gained. So.
So I don't even know where to start. We're still on track with creating the application, which is due the 19th of October, the phase 1. And I'll go back. I'm just trying to make sure I go back far enough. So this is the presentation I gave to LCATS and the communities on Tuesday. Basically what the grant application is. I think, do you guys, I talked to so many people. Do you guys understand the whole complexity of what it is and what we're trying to do? If not, I'll back up.
I think so, but
Okay, so we're going to bring in hopefully $75 million to this opportunity to make sure it's ED meeting now. Yes. Ma'am.
I was going to say, yeah.
You got him.
Streaming?
Yes, on YouTube.
Okay.
Let me just go here. So the first phase 1 of the application, which going back to HDR, who is our consultant working on the concept plan for the mobility hub and the innovation center. It was built in to their contract for an additional $35,000 to help with secondary costs related to grant work. So we don't have to execute any more contracts with them. So $20,000 of that comes from the village. Our private sector partner paid $15,000. That $20,000 of ours is coming out of the ARPA funds. The other $35,000, if we need it, is going to come out of the ARPA funds as well. So no general fund money right now. It's all private. The first phase, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So you said the other 35. I guess I missed out on
So the
that.
first 35 is already committed.
Mhm.
20,000 from us,
Right.
15 from our private partner. So that is going to the concept plan development and figuring out what the property is going to look like and function and have that storyboard so we can include it in the grant application.
I didn't know about the other 35. That threw me.
Correct. And that's why I wanted to bring it up today. I don't even, foresight was good. I don't know why we did it that way, but we put in there, I know what it was. It was the implementation plan. So once we got done with the concept, we had to figure out, okay, how we're going to pull it off. And we put that other 35 in there as if authorized and as needed. It's in the contract. So
And does that go to HDR too?
correct.
Okay.
So they're going to be our technical advisor as we go through the narrative of phase 1 of developing, what it is we're doing. They do this all over the country. And they've done it with Smart Columbus. They were a consultant on that project as well. So HDR has an economist and they're going to be looking at different things along with us to make sure the application is as good as we can make it, obviously. So that is what
So they're
their role is going to be.
bringing their technical expertise to this project and adding stuff that we wouldn't have that
No.
they will. So
No, I absolutely. So they're I authorized the 35,000. We haven't spent any of it yet. We're still getting up to speed, but I had some emails with Justin last night, HDR. Him and his economist and his team are meeting this week to go over this whole thing. And then we're going to set up another meeting next week to really start nailing down this narrative and bringing them on board to figure out how we're going to position ourselves for the application.
Okay.
Marvin, you look perplexed, I should
No, I'm
say.
not perplexed at all. What's HDR's track record on getting these grants?
Good. They actually got a Tiger grant, I think, or a build grant. So they've gotten some bigger ones.
And those are federal grants.
Yeah,
Did you say HDR was also part of the Smart
Columbus.
Columbus?
Yeah.
That was big. And that was federal.
The only-
And we competed against, or they competed against a lot of places.
Yes,
Big places.
yes. Going along that track, I had a phone call with a company called Beep.
Okay.
Sounds
So-
impressive.
Beep is, they wrote a grant for Jacksonville Transit Authority and won it, and for some autonomous and connected vehicle stuff. The bad thing about going to them is I don't think I have enough time to get them up to speed on what we're doing. But we could use them just on a one-off, hey, we got this question or we got this conundrum. Can you help us just work through it? I think we could use them, but if this was 6 months from now and we had to do it, I think Beep would be good to bring on, but we just can't get them up to speed.
The only other comment I've got on it, I'm supportive of it, but are you going to be in there working with them on this?
Oh, yeah.
Be very vocal. I trust your judgment and stuff more than I do them, and you've got a good track record with us of what you've done.
So how it's gonna work is I'm gonna write a bulk of the information. And then I'm gonna ask, Bailey and Tech and HDR to chime in saying, hey, is this correct? Or are we completely off base or something like that? So, or just have them write a section and be like, hey, you need to address this topic and have at it, So yeah, it's gonna be me. And then HDR is just another extension of our staff. Same thing with Tech International, with our private developer.
That satisfies my question.
This Beep, if you get a chance to just contact them and say, we don't have time to do anything for this first phase, but would you be interested if we get that and can move to the second phase?
Yeah, I've had that conversation with them.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
They've sent me their marketing stuff, and one night I went through the Jacksonville application, because it's all online and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's pretty impressive. That's what it was. It was one of what was the grant we were gonna go after prior to this one, Bailey? Build?
Raise.
Raise.
Raise, yeah.
So this one was the build, which is the same thing as raise, just
Yeah.
different acronym. And if you looked at, did I send you guys what do they call it? That one piece we weren't comfortable with, Jim Roberts wasn't comfortable on?
The cost.
Cost benefit cost analysis, BCA. I'm glad we backed out, because if you look at their BCA, which is a component we were gonna have to compile, we didn't stand a chance. So the best decision we ever made was getting out of that opportunity, because it wasn't gonna end well for us. It was just gonna be a waste of time. So I looked at that. Oh, shit.
Mhm.
So, but this grant, this BBRC does not have that component, so much more comfortable with this. So this first phase is going to be a lot of narrative. It's going to be the concept. Then they award us, if we're selected, 500 grand. Then we go vet out the further application. And it's very nice the way they set it up. They're saying, okay, we think you're got a good idea. Here's $500,000. Go develop that idea a little further and come back in March with a full application. So we've identified in phase 2, it's a March 10th, 20th deadline, I forget, but these are kind of the communities we've identified and trying to, get up into Knox County, because it's going to look better than just sitting in Licking County, because it's a regional coalition grant. So we got to be regional. There's some discussion of what regional is, but I think we're okay, because we're going to get up into Franklin or Delaware County. We're going to get into Knox County. And then, so these are the people that were on a call on Tuesday, except for Utica. But I'm gonna reach out to them later. Everyone's on board, mainly because we're gonna try and get them some money. So the money is going to be, primarily ours, 45 of the 75 million would stay here to redevelop 200 East Coshocton, install a mobility hub, any water and sewer broadband infrastructure we need, as well as bolster that idea of the mobility industry incubator. So that would all be on site there at 200 East Coshocton. Is 45 million enough? Is 45 million too much? We don't know, but that's what we'll use the $500,000 to try and vet out once it goes forward. See, people ask me, where'd you get these numbers? And I pulled them out of the sky because we're just trying to figure that out. So we would give Newark 5 million, Granville 5 million, Heath, Utica, Knox County, Sunbury, and basically the whole idea is develop 7 mobility hubs in this region. So ours is going to be a big one. Ours is going to be full-fledged, electric vehicle charging stations, bus, transit, ride shares, scooters, heliport, vertical takeoff and landing infrastructure. These other ones would be maybe just scooters and ride share, or transit and scooters, or, it depends on what they would need. But we would come up with the list. These are all the components up at the top. So, Mary from Heath was up here the other day and was like, I think we could really hit micro transit and terrestrial drones and goods lockers in Heath, for various reasons, so we'll have all those conversations as well. But
they got FCC license, don't they?
They do. Yeah, that was one thing we got to figure out. Right. So one thing with Heath specifically is the Arvin Meritor site right across from the mounds. That's a good place to look at. But he also did say behind Walmart, right next to the airport, can we do some vertical takeoff and landing stuff?
You got all the communities you want?
Yeah, because we can do 3 up to 8 components in the application. So each component being a community. But Hanover during our LCATS meeting is interested. I haven't had any conversation with Utica, so maybe we switch out Utica with Hanover.
What
That I like too.
Yeah.
about going into another county, Gainesville? Do you have anybody to reach out to there? Politically,
We
that
could
might
do,
help us.
we could do C. Yeah. I mean, Howard, what's his name? Howard Beaver.
The fever. That might be
think
wrong.
that would
It's
help.
usually
I
Newark.
forget.
Yeah.
Knox County.
Well, he's in Knox.
We got Knox with now.
Yeah, because we're
Got
meeting with,
Delaware. The part of Delaware that doesn't get any attention. Well,
I don't know.
I'm not trying to throw, I just thought politically when it comes down to, it might help, I don't know.
And we're not contacting New Albany. I assume.
No. So and that's explicitly on purpose.
Mhm.
Not keeping them in the dark, but not including them because they're more urban. We're trying to play the rural card.
Right.
Same thing with Westerville or even Pataskala. We're trying to be the urban or the rural thing.
Mhm.
Marvin, going back to Zanesville, I don't know. I don't know.
Bring Muskingum.
Well, what I was thinking too, Jim, is a hub there. It's right on 71 East or 70 East.
Yeah.
But
And they're,
you help those people get to Columbus, maybe, I don't know.
well, and Grow-Licking County has done a targeted social media campaign to target workforce over there. So we could,
Mhm.
piggyback on that.
We could do
Right.
that, we could do them or Croton, either one you want.
that's another story.
Yeah, but we'll get to that. Well, and Statesville also has the OU branch over there too, so I don't know if that would,
OU Zane State.
yeah.
That's a good question. I'm not saying it's not a good
It's taking
opportunity
another county.
Yeah, it's
Right.
just.
that expands the region. So Yeah.
One good thing about this plan, including these, we're in the center spoke or
Yes,
hub.
you're
And
right.
it makes it natural for Johnstown to be
Yes.
the lead because we're the center of the wheel.
Right, because if we go to Zanesville, also Newark's
Right.
could be the center. We
Right.
don't want that.
We don't want that.
Well, they don't want that.
Oh, they don't want it? Okay. Well, there's really no place. Newark's sort of, they got Granville here and Heath here and,
They don't want to, yeah, they want a hub somewhere where they can redevelop a brownfield to create jobs,
Sure.
which everybody
Right.
wants that.
Yeah.
You know, Granville wants theirs down on 16 with their industrial park to run water and sewer and have their hub there, create jobs. That's kind of what we're trying to do.
okay.
Knox County they want the Siemens site thrown in there, you know, again, the redevelopment aspect of it. So I was trying to tell someone last night, I forget who was on the phone with. We're trying to, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but we're trying to recreate each thing in all these communities. So brownfield redevelopment, job creation, mobility hub, water sewer infrastructure, but create this network of connectedness through mobility.
You have a lot of flexibility there when you take all those things into account.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we'll have to figure that out if we're lucky enough to get the 500 grand. Yeah.
You know, I mentioned it well, it's in the minutes at the end there. You've got the brownfield with tech. And I said something about now that we have open communication with Kevin Looker from
Yep.
Transportation Accessories, I would assume there could be a brownfield there, especially where the dumpster guy.
Yes,
But I don't know if we want to try to, do too much.
he's on my list of potential partners for workforce development. So CTEC's coming in with AAA Friday, tomorrow. And we're going to discuss the workforce development element. So on the campus of the Innovation Center, it would be, we'd have a garage, like you do at CTEC, but it would be here that we would teach students, whether that's adult learners or high school kids, how to fix a connected car. Because there's LiDAR in there. There's things that, I don't want to say case ups, but, mom and pop shops aren't going to have a clue how to touch these things.
Mhm.
So how do we work with them? Transportation accessories, same thing. Hey, would you want to partner with us to figure out curriculum development or, some pathway of training people? So I'm assuming buses are going to become smarter in the future.
I talked to him about that. I said, transportation accessories, they supply to school buses. That's their main focus. And when we met with him, I said something to him about, so do you have any parts for electric buses? He said, well, a little bit, and we're pursuing it.
Right. So my goal is with them and KSEPs, haven't talked to KSEPs, haven't talked to transportation accessories, but if AAA out of Toledo, and because they're developing the training materials with Bosch, I believe Bosch is their vendor. If we can get them hooked up with CTEC to focus their attention here, then we would bring in the actual people who are going to do it as a pipeline of getting people trained and have them help us create the curriculum as well. There's a whole bunch of academics maybe not understand the real world ramifications of what their curriculum does or doesn't do. So
Yeah. You'll need a site for that one.
correct. And that's what we're hoping to have it on the 200 East Coshocton.
There, like Carol said, that.
Could be.
That other section over there.
Yeah. Those are all
Everything's
ideas.
cleared off. Have you ever been down there to Track Street?
No trucks.
No trucks, no semis, no dump trucks, gone. He still has to pay this area though.
Or
Yeah, I know. Hey, at least he talks to us, unlike
Sure.
his stepdad.
Jim, I'll bring you another dozen balls out here to juggle.
okay.
Sounds like you got quite a few of them in here.
It's interesting. So yesterday we went over to East Liberty, which is the other TRC, Transportation Research Center out there at Honda. Met with a ton of people. Tech and I were out there. Bosch, Panasonic, and I don't know who all we met with, but found out that Columbus region is looking to create one of these applications as well. So my fear is if you see an application from one Columbus and Ohio State, and you see an application from Johnstown, Ohio with CTEC, I bet you I know which one's going to score better.
Yeah.
So I have a lunch meeting previously scheduled with Kenny McDonald at One Columbus tomorrow to get more information. The good thing is they're going to be an urban setting. They're going to be, focused primarily with automotive research, with still probably a smart connected mobility hub or mobility technology focus. But someone told me yesterday, like, hey, they just got 100 million from Smart Columbus. And to be
What's
honest,
the hook?
I don't think they produced what they said they were going to produce.
I don't think
They
so
didn't.
either.
Now they pivoted and did some other good things, but I
Yeah.
don't think,
They didn't fulfill what they promised,
right.
You
So
read about them before they got started. Now you don't hear about anything smart.
other
stuff
than,
over there.
other than they used their vehicle to deliver food.
Lyndon,
Yeah, in Linden,
Uh-huh.
got rid of passengers and trying to take people to places. They said that part didn't function.
right.
I think they did do the handheld plan your trip thing.
Pivot.
That part was created, and the rest of it, nobody's heard squat about. So, I mean, I don't think it's, and you're talking with them tomorrow. I mean, I think they should be saying, yeah, Johnstown, go for it. We want to be supportive. We want to,
Well, they might. Very
but
well.
it's in their interest to do something a little different on the urban side or the rural side, because they know that's going to be a focus of this administration is rural stuff that they are focused at, and not just urban settings, so that they can point to it and say, hey, we gave money to rural, we're including rural people because they need those,
Because they're coming our way is why.
they need the support to make it work.
But the money that would come to us if we're with them.
No,
is gonna be
I'm
much
not,
smaller.
no,
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there's no reason if they're going for one that they can't be supportive of us.
Sure. No, I agree. But my worry is some scoring person sitting in a dark room somewhere.
In
Washington is
DC,
gonna
you can
look-
say, look at Ohio State
I'm not going to give it to.
They're gonna look at the population.
It's gonna look-
Yeah.
They will do that. Yeah.
So
That's,
I know Columbus isn't going to back out. So I was told they hired a consultant, a national consultant that they're meeting every Monday morning to vet the application.
No, I'm not saying that we should press them to get out, but they should be supportive of ours too.
Yeah, and that's what William Murdoch at Morpsey told me yesterday. He goes, we'll support both applications.
Right.
So that if you both support both applications, then you support neither application essentially. But I don't know. Well, I still think our private partner still wants to go forward. They believe, and I believe we have a good product. We have a good story.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to win and beat the big guy.
Yeah.
The thing is, Jim, we're risking your time, $70,000 to go after 75. So it's,
yeah.
I think we got more than a 50% chance.
I do. I completely agree with you. I think we have a great chance,
I think it's,
Well, it's so innovative.
and it's rural based.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
right.
It's innovative because it's rural based.
Yeah.
and if we hammer the idea that being rural based here and the people from Mount Vernon and Utica that travel through here every day to go to Columbus, and if we provide transportation for them here, by the time this is up and running, and what would you say, 7 years, 5, 7, 8 years?
Oh, we got to spend it down by 2020.
It's fast.
Okay.
5.
If you got that transportation here in Johnstown for to park here and ride to Columbus, I think you'll see a lot of people that will
Or
do
to be,
that.
or to be employed here.
Yeah,
It's, you know,
Enough jobs.
Yeah, the Biden administration has put a huge emphasis on rural.
And does this come on, like show like how we're reducing carbons and all
Yes.
that?
Yep.
'Cause that's the other big thing.
So we've got almost a little, not quite a month, or no, we do have a month. So what can we do in that meantime to help you, help the staff here to accomplish what you want to do for this grant?
Just know that there's going to be some other things paused, not big things. We're still working on Hartford. We're still, Bailey's still doing the development review and all that stuff, but there may be some littler things that probably are going to get pushed off for a little bit. And then there's going to be so then I want to ask you guys, okay, so it's due in October. Then the selection is going to happen pretty quick on that 500, I think early December, which is lightning speed, in my opinion.
It is.
Even if it's January 1, do we continue to work on the phase 2 application, knowing we may not be awarded phase 1? Because that's a long time to let sit and go idle, that I don't think we should wait, because we can't get that time back. And in order to have the best application come March, I don't want to sit idle between October and the award notification in December.
You just answered your own question.
Yeah,
But I want you guys to be aware of
Go
what
for it.
that decision would be.
it's a calculated
Because the
risk.
thing
It's a
is,
very- yeah.
even if we're not awarded in the first round, there'll be a follow-on. There's other federal money.
Oh, there's going to be tons.
There's tons. They're throwing so much money out. It's like, we could be the bank robbers and just go help ourselves. But don't hesitate to go after something else. If we lose phase 1, okay, we lost. We're going after something else.
Yeah, if the
And
idea
we'll
is.
take all this knowledge we've gained and we'll use it for that part 2.
Absolutely. Yeah, the 70 grand's not wasted by any means.
Yeah.
I don't think our staff time's wasted.
You can use all these applications to cut and paste on the next one.
Yeah, that's what we're doing a lot with the ITS grant we did. There's a lot of information in there that I've used on stuff like this. It's not wasted by any means.
Mhm.
So, okay, that helps. I purchased a data software. Just so you know, it was $8 grand. It's a year-long license. It's coming out of that 35. So technically we only have 27 left, but I need data to back up a lot of this stuff. So there's this company called MZ. Grow County uses it.
You sent us something and I looked at it and I thought,
Yeah,
oh
wow.
my gosh, that was way a bunch of little fixed facts.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it's much more than that too, but that was just one of them. I
The
sent you.
one component, yeah.
Yeah, so now going to Marvin's idea of Zanesville, I only purchased Muskingum, Knox, Licking, and Franklin. No,
Not Muskingum.
not Muskingum,
Delaware.
Licking, Delaware, right? So it's another $2 grand I would have to pull to get Muskingum County.
How far would that throw you off when you work? I mean, you're pretty far along in your
I'd have to get in
idea.
front of them early next week.
Yeah,
But that's okay, because the first phase of the application is really just a narrative. So as long as I get in front of the transit system seat, I don't think it's a huge lift. I just gotta get in front of them, which I know the guy. I've met with him a few times on other things,
I
so.
think it's that much to have them. It was just that's your call, Jim. I
honestly just have to look on paper and look at it and see.
it was just a suggestion, not a request.
No, I don't know what I'm doing, so any suggestions you
Yes,
guys
you
have
do.
would be success. It's not a bad idea. I just gotta
An
make it happen.
economically depressed area, talk to Dresden.
Yeah,
Well, I'm thinking Muskingum University. Is it a university
it
now?
is.
Okay.
It was a college. in my
Well, I
mind.
know, because Ashland was too, and
Yeah.
that's when I went, there was a college.
Yeah.
That's another idea, your hometown. Is that too far away?
Oh,
That skips a couple counties, I think, to
Yeah.
get up there.
Yeah.
It's But I'm just saying, I don't know, you got your contacts there. I mean,
Well, we have Dennison on board.
good.
Good.
Though, I just read something about Denison that they have some kind of a,
Downtown short.
Downtown Columbus.
yes,
In the.
and they call it Denison something. I can't remember. And I'm thinking, oh,
They told me about it last year. That's why
They were
they
hesitant.
weren't, they couldn't commit more resources to helping us with the other grants because they would have to get that up and running.
What is it again?
It's.
like a incubator type situation, sort of.
I've given the,
Hands-on. So you go, it's a place of, you'll have your internship there
Oh,
and
okay.
it's more of the hands-on part of.
What's it
school.
called? You said you have the word Columbus in it. That's why.
No, I
didn't-
don't. It
Okay.
said
it's in the
it was
arena, in
Columbus,
the
but it's
arena district,
Denison
Oh, okay.
something.
Denison.
And it's kids who are going to Denison that, yeah, are getting like their internships through this area.
And,
through this
and they would be,
company.
been exposed to, there it is,
Launch lab.
launch lab.
Oh, okay.
I thought, okay, so much for helping
And
the
like-
county.
Well,
Career readiness.
it's career readiness, it's bringing, Columbus companies in to talk to these students and
Sign up to do an
HR and internships and exposing them to, I don't know whether it's computer stuff or it's insurance or it's financially related or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's our education to career pipeline, and that's what they are trying to use this space for. Of course, it's a hub too.
Hub everywhere.
Hub.
Popular word.
Trying to think back to that. I think that's it. I don't know. I might be missing something, but,
Well, we'll meet early in October for this group, so you can, we'll have a little further closer to the deadline and can get feedback, because we're meeting kind of the third week instead of the first week
Mhm.
for September, so.
Mhm. Yeah.
We'll be meeting again. fairly
About 2
soon.
weeks.
Yeah,
Are you comfortable with 4 of us agreeing with what you wanted to do?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think Ben's listening online, so, Ben was on the call Tuesday. Yeah, and Chip was too. So I kind of regurgitated everything I said during those events up to date.
well, I forget the name of this data company.
MZ,
How do you spell that?
EMSI.
EMS.
I did it right. Okay, so I just want to ask, will they do anything park-wise statistics? Just curious.
Park-wise.
Parks, did they do any studies and demographics that involve tourism or parks, or just curious in case we would ever want to, the park committee would want to use something from their,
Yes,
let's
let's,
make use of it in other ways too.
absolutely. So I told Bailey the same thing this morning for planning and stuff. So you can look up, this is an industry snapshot. Now, this is going to be on the workers. So
Okay,
not necessarily,
Residents.
I see. Okay,
yeah, so here's a supply of jobs of park and rec in Johnstown. zip
that's
code.
gonna be pretty low.
So it's a little low. I think I understand what you're asking. I don't think that's
Okay, we'll just stick to our pedestrian counter. Or
correct.
statistics.
For now.
Yes,
I just wanted to ask, because I
No,
was curious.
absolutely. But it scrubs everything from Bureau of Labor Statistics, census data. Then they go into like LinkedIn and Indeed and see how many people are hiring and stuff like that. So you can get a real-time view of industry labor and economic analysis.
Okay,
Well, Carol, speaking on that, the bicycle rack downtown makes it look a lot more friendly for pedestrians and bicycles.
It does. It looks
Miles.
That's
nice.
very nice.
Yeah, like it.
I agree.
I don't know who's responsible for that, but they've done a good job.
well, indirectly, she is, because
Done a good job there.
she,
Yeah, it looks
Put that on the record.
she did the active transportation plan, just I know I'm kind of hijacking this
All right.
conversation, but she wrote that, and then I said that our committee is going to keep tabs on that, so it doesn't just get this plan thrown off to the side and we don't do what it says to do.
But the Licking County Health Department donated the funds
Yes.
for
Yeah,
the
it was $5
racks
grand.
and the concrete pad.
That's great.
It was the pad too.
Mhm.
Cool.
Good.
Someone
And
else.
It
then,
really looks nice.
We don't have any funds left.
You could say that was a blighted area. and you-
Well, of the 5,000, in other words, we spent all that.
Yeah.
just a month.
there's always next year. I mean, we're
Right,
halfway through
yeah,
this
we have
year.
a connection with them now, so.
Yeah.
I thanked him at the Hellcats meeting.
Well,
Just
that's
always
We're
nice.
just basically a mud.
Well, I actually have our park system, our 6 parks up on the website now with specific things for those bicycle things, recognizing that, I hoped I had that right, the Licking County Health Department.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have one of those at the trailhead. We have one now downtown.
Mhm.
Do we have one at?
We want to get one at
uh,
Belt Park eventually.
We bought one, we didn't buy one. Belt Park bought one with us and it's
Okay.
now there. I don't know if they've installed it yet, but they
How
have it.
about, how about the other part of the
Anna?
Hannah Park?
I'm not sure about Hannah's Park.
We
I'd
have
need to
one
look.
over by, so if
And
a kid
I'm
wanted
not
to
sure
go,
about Rolling Meadows either.
Yeah.
There's not one there.
Okay, is there one at Hannah's Park?
No.
Okay.
The fix-it station?
No, the
no,
bike racks.
the bike rack and a fix-it station
Oh.
at Hannah's Park. Should we
I know there
No.
are fix-it stations,
There's
but I can't remember if there's
neither
bike racks.
should
park
we
has.
think about doing one there?
We ripped them out of Hannah's, painted them and put them down at the
Oh,
trailhead.
okay.
Okay.
I think that's a discussion we should do
Yeah, in Parks and Rec,
but
yeah.
I think that plan also said we should have some like at the Kroger Shopping Center, that type of thing. So we'll have to,
You gotta be a brave soul. to
Right,
single
yeah.
out.
we'll look to you to tell us what are the
But I
some
was
next
wondering, like,
projects.
If I just went to Kroger and talked to their general manager and said like, you know,
Be
what
part of
if
something bigger.
Johnstown has, what if Licking County Health Department donates the funds? You don't have to pay for it. Can we put it on your sidewalk? I feel like they would probably say yes.
Oh, I think so.
They may
I
do it
probably
anyway.
would. Yeah.
They might pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might.
Okay, guys, let's get back to economic development.
Yeah, I said, I'm
Yeah,
hijacking
You
the
are.
meeting.
So enough
But I-
about parks.
But he asked a question and I answered it and it got too big.
Don't
Yes.
blame me for that.
All right. Anything else on this, gentlemen?
I don't think so at this point.
Okay.
I'll just continue to email you guys information.
All righty, let's go to the Enterprise Center update, which basically, okay, this is the plans, what it looks like.
Yeah, I will be,
Harold, maybe you saw this?
No.
Okay.
with
Um,
the certificate of appropriateness and 2 variances, correct, Bailey?
Yeah, they just applied for the variance on the same, both
Yeah.
variances on the same application.
What's the variances?
That map in there, if you
Uh-huh.
look at it, the dark gray area, they
yeah.
want to leave,
Crushed aggregate?
yeah, they want to leave not paved
No, okay,
because they're just gonna use it. So like that back building is a maintenance building
Mhm.
that they're gonna use to like fix up their fleet. And they want to just like leave some of the fleet on the
So is this
unpaved
just
area.
gravel or
Crushed-
nothing?
Crushed
It's gonna
aggregate.
be
Crushed
crushed aggregate, so it's not gonna be like dusty.
Oh, okay,
They've specifically like tried to make sure that it won't be too dusty.
So like if you think of just gravel in a driveway, that rock will move and shift. They're gonna do that. They're gonna put fine crushed aggregate, so it kind of locks it in place.
Number 8's on top,
Yeah.
that drives like cement.
And
Because they're
then-
gonna be driving huge trucks on it, so they don't want to rut it up either,
this is
so.
the front of the building or is this the
This
front?
is that to the area.
I think the front is for the parking lot.
I find one.
Oh, yeah. it's
You will
pretty close.
see,
It's-
What will we see as we're going down?
you'll see
Bucket
this
Lanes?
going down Duncan
Carol, can
Plains.
I, can I
Okay,
see that?
And this is what you will see when you pull into the parking lot.
okay,
Yeah.
That's the
It's-
lobby.
So
Okay.
the pipeline's right here. and then
Lots of trees.
here.
It's
They
bigger
haven't-
than I
They
thought.
actually
don't know how big
do all
the
those
setback
trees
is.
that they show in there.
The second variance is a park, request to decrease the parking because our parking requirement's pretty big and they
Yeah,
don't
it
think they
is, yeah.
need that many.
that'll be a good, yeah, that'll be an easy one to approve. I hope.
So if, I would ask on the 28th, if you're not doing anything,
Show up,
Go up and be
I
supportive.
would
Yeah.
also,
okay,
I
yeah,
I will be there with bells on because this needs to go through
It does need to.
September 28th,
zoning commission.
that's a birthday gift, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
I only know that because my daughter's
and then
birthday's
September
the day after yours, I think. Are
Mine's
you the,
29th.
oh, she's
So
the
that's on
day before.
Tuesday, so we
Okay.
can't take him out.
Well, we could go to the other, the old horseshoe. Oh,
Yeah, the old
This is
horseshoe.
what they want to reduce.
Yeah.
CRA should be in front of you. I talked to Yaz earlier this morning on the 21st, I hope. If not, we may ask the mayor to call a special meeting
Okay,
because they want to close soon after they get approval on the 28th, assuming they get approval.
okay, that sounds good.
So I,
Better. Or we'll be coming with clubs.
Did you say a time on the 28th?
6:30.
Oh, this is at night.
P and Z.
P and Z meeting, yeah, they're normal.
So yeah, so CRA, I took myself out of the middle because I just put Yaz in touch with their attorney, making sure they can get.
That's the
agreement.
best thing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what everyone said. So, now I did bring up to them, Representative Frazier has a bill in the legislature that would increase the 50% to 75% without school board approval. So I brought it up to
What do you
them.
mean by 75%?
So right now, with
75% more for the,
Us or
us
them?
or them? Yeah.
them,
Oh, for them. Oh,
they would get, instead of 50% abatement, they could get 75 without school board approval. Who knows if the
will
bill
pass
is
or
gonna
not.
pass. Frazier told me that our school district isn't keen on the idea and they made that known to him. So I told that to New River and they said, we're not greedy. We're just going with the 50, even if it becomes law. It is what it is. We'll leave 20%, we'll leave 25% on the table.
oh, they're going, I mean, I was thinking of the water tap. You're talking about
The real estate
Income.
taxes. The real estate.
real
taxes.
estate taxes.
They said, no, we don't want to wait. Let's do 50 and we'll move on.
Okay.
Even if it becomes law and they could have left, they're leaving money on the table if it becomes law,
Mhm.
but that's okay with them.
Okay.
Great.
Very confusing.
Yes.
Schools, well, they want everything.
Yep.
So it's like, what's
For
the point
children,
of,
for the children, Cheryl.
and the children has to have a job to go to once they graduate.
Yes, they do. And roads to drive on.
Yes,
college dreams. I had a conversation with a trustee about school district, not Monroe Township, a different trustee in Licking County. And it was interesting to hear his opinion of it. He goes, I run a township. I don't tell a school district how to educate their children. I don't tell a town or a school district how to build their building either, so it was,
It is true.
yeah, it was interesting. There's many people that I think. Anyway,
Okay, we'll just go on from there.
absolutely.
Okay, well, as long as this progresses and get this one done, will be a relief.
Yep, we will be paying our third and final payments to the Port Authority here soon. The road is ours. The plat was
Mhm.
recorded, so we'll be plowing it this winter.
Okay,
And then hopefully, once the closing takes place, we'll get our profit on the sale of the property, which is estimated 200,000.
good. That's basically what we put into it, isn't it?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
yeah. So this is going to turn out, well, water and sewer, it's going to be,
well, that's true, but I'm thinking of just the land purchase, so I'm thinking.
yeah, we
of-
put 200 in.
Mhm. Okay, well, this has been a long process, but it will be worthwhile once it goes. It's an attractive building, so great. Anything else, or can we move on?
Move on.
All right, number 5, new businesses to the downtown area. I've included this because I thought we needed to discuss, we've got a building downtown that we've got 3 empty storefronts. And a lot of the reason that we have empty storefronts is not because of the economy, it's because of the building itself, and it's in such dire repair. So I don't know what we can do to try to get that fixed, or, call the building inspector in the county, have them make sure that it's even safe to be in there. We need to do something.
Well, on behalf of you,
Mhm.
for this committee, you wanted me to put that out there for ARP funds. And it was to see if we could give them grants or something. All those buildings are owned by the White Cross Lodge,
Yeah,
which is,
Which has 16 members and they're in their 80s.
and they
yes.
have no money and
Right.
probably no longer understand the value that if they sold those buildings, they probably would have enough money to invest in continuing on to, the last
And
dying
that
number.
they could have a life estate for
Yeah.
their meeting rooms forever.
Right.
You know,
So you mean our money to buy it or to rehab it?
I think I worded
It
it.
wasn't to buy.
It was to give, if there were some grants or some kind of funding
Incentive.
that we could, and it was
Yeah,
through,
It-
she was out of town, so she said, hey.
I
put
call
this-
Carol and I'm like, hey, would you do this? I'm driving.
Yeah.
Which nobody cares who's ever listening to this, but yeah, we don't want to be owners of property. That's not our desire, but we want the property to be in working order because I don't want a fire to start in one of the buildings that has not been maintained and destroy everything else that's been down there. We don't want another Johnstown fire,
We also
and that could
don't wanna
happen.
Lose businesses because the
that's
property owner
taxes.
won't cooperate with repairs.
Yeah,
So the tree sinks, I think, were the ones that made us aware that they had been planned and they to move in there. And they said, this isn't safe, or I don't know.
yeah,
what
they
else
said
they
it's not safe, that the furnace or whatever,
Furnaces.
they could actually catch on fire. I mean,
Don't turn the fire furnace
Yeah.
on because it could start a fire.
there's no central air conditioning. It's just the air conditioner up on the door. It's just in horrible repair.
They did repair something a number of years back because it was bricks outside that were going to fall down on
Mhm.
people because the mortar was gone. So they did do something. Do you have a contact with them?
No.
No.
I have a name of somebody.
I think we do because we contact them for water sometimes. And Jim Blair might actually.
Well, Amy Teresick has to have.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
True.
I have Amy sent me the guy's phone number.
Okay,
Had to find it.
To answer the big question, yeah, we can use that to
But
our money.
Stabilize
to-
it or to fund.
How do we-
Grants to,
Now you gotta.
how do we
not-
beat on them?
Yeah.
This is what we want to do, is that
Mhm.
is that these people are affecting the looks of our downtown. They're economically, by being empty, we lose tax money. So it's a negative,
It is a negative.
and it has a negative impact when people are coming to
Oh, yeah.
our award-winning restaurant and have to look
Mhm.
across the street at empty storefronts.
it's pretty.
It
bad.
is, it's bad.
What,
We can request the health department and the building codes get
I think
more
we should.
involved.
I think we should, for the safety of everybody else in that block.
that Amy and Bill tried to buy the building.
Oh, they did.
They had a meeting with them, offered to buy the building and give them a lifetime estate on the second floor.
They don't understand
They
it. do they?
flatly refused. They don't have the money to fix the buildings up.
No,
And I've heard that they've got those 2 storefronts rented. I don't know who they're renting to, if possible.
You can imagine what would be going in there.
Well, the whole thing on economic development, if you want your downtown to flourish, you got to fix your buildings up and
Mhm.
get more rent out of them.
Right,
And those buildings, storefronts at $600 a month or $700 a month is not getting it.
Mhm.
And they don't have the money to fix them up.
And we've gotten that to
And they're
kind
not
of
gonna,
accomplished on the other side of the street.
and tax-wise, they're not gonna provide,
no, they're not doing.
they're not gonna pay,
We're not
income
gonna pay any
taxes
money
that
from
we're
them.
gonna get money from. So it's like
Or services to
our
the,
services, here it is.
I think it's to have the
The
building.
the guys,
Building department works for us and I'd ask them for an inspection on
Greg Morey, Morey.
Yes, I know him. I had him in school.
740-817-0043.
it. Teaching much. You have to have something to work with. I really understand that.
That's all I've got. I don't have an address for him.
He lives out in the apartments behind CVS.
yeah. Well,
The other one is Hayes.
Now, I overheard a conversation at Tiffany's yesterday about somebody saying he was looking at renting one of those. So, and I didn't want to interject myself into the,
Person that you heard was renting one.
yeah, he was in there picking up food and I was like, you know, am I hearing what I'm hearing here? And he was only paying like $600 or some amount. I was like,
And then probably don't even realize how bad it is at this point.
right. Because I'm sure they're not telling the whole story when
We
they,
don't even know
that
the whole
the-
story. I know.
that there's odor from water seeping into the basements.
Yeah.
There's a problem with the floors because the floor guys that Amy had in there, who I trust, said this needs to be completely redone. It won't sustain, it's gonna collapse at some
Furnace has
point.
got a red tag on it.
You know, furnace has got a red tag on it from, you know, people that I have used at my house from Newark, and they're reputable people.
Dormeyer.
No.
So could the village get the health department? Would that be our role to?
Not the
call
health, it'd be the building
Building
inspector.
department.
The
we
building.
could do both. I mean, if there's mold or sewage or
He
something
needs
like that.
Safety? Do they
Check
get
all of
into
it.
Safety?
Building codes will, yeah.
And
It
before,
seems that-
before,
If the building code come in and they felt that it was necessary to call a health department, they call a health department in.
yeah,
The
Okay.
building code has a lot more teeth in it than the Board of Health. Would you agree?
Yeah,
and
in regards to the structure of the building.
he's been, the
Lots of
guy's
evidence
been here
probably.
from Licking County recently. you
Has
know.
he?
What was that?
The Licking County building guy has been in Johnstown in the last 2 weeks.
Looking at that or something
That
else?
other buildings
Okay.
that pass.
Yes. I've seen the health department car here too
And
on pretty
I don't know
regular
about-
basis. I don't know why.
They,
but-
the
They're
health
catching up
department,
now that their COVID is not as taking up much time. They're
Mhm.
catching up on all their other work. So
health
So if we
department.
could put something out to the building codes and say ASAP, because we're concerned.
We're concerned
And get
about
this
these.
moving.
Yeah.
If Bailey or Jim or Jack makes a
Just
phone
call.
call down there, I think you get the job done.
I think they'd be up here to look at it at least and give
And
us,
report back.
to us, and let us
And to
know
them.
what's
Or
going.
are we
Yeah,
under contract with them? To do our inspections and stuff?
Yeah.
Also.
but do they pay us, or do we pay them, or
We don't
is
pay,
it,
they get their money
it,
for the fees.
the county and the fees
Through the fees.
directly from whoever
Through
owns
the
the building?
business.
Okay,
Yeah, I think we really need to do that to,
would make me feel a lot better. The damn place isn't gonna burn down.
yeah, me too.
We will do that.
But let's say, I just want to go back to, would there be any way we could say the village can help you? We realize you're a sad organization that's not gonna,
Well, I think you need to open it up to anybody downtown. You know,
Okay.
if you
Okay.
go
I
right,
see, yes, okay.
The thing is, Carol, if we start with that, it's,
that's why you gotta go.
I mean, is it
I know.
fair to the people on the other side that spent
Their own
really
money.
millions of dollars?
I totally hear you. I know. It's just, these people are so pitiful, just
Well,
because
we
I
get-
know Greg.
If we give them $100,000 and they go in there and do some work and stuff, it's still not gonna put them ahead any. They'll be right back in the same
That building's
situation.
Same hole.
So bad, it's gonna take a lot of money, I think, to get it up.
What would it take to get it condemned? I wonder. I'm seriously,
No, I- no,
how
you're
bad is it?
The building department will decide that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's their determination.
Just be careful. Remember when we condemned the stormwater pond over there?
Yeah. What we
$50,000.
asked Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
No, I think the building code will make that decision and they will also mandate
repairs.
repairs.
Yeah,
I mean, they shut the arcade down and made
that's right. You
You had-
did.
yeah.
24/7 fire watchers down there.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, okay. So if we can proceed with that, I think we all would, for the protection of the public and the other business owners, we need to do that.
That's fine. We will get on it.
It's not fair to let 7 or 8 people hold the town hostage.
While you're talking about this new business in Johnstown, the other thing that you wanted me to put out there was Post Office Alley. So can we have, to me, that's economic development.
It
So
should be
where are
being
we?
striped.
Okay,
It's
good.
been surveyed.
It's been surveyed tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Super.
I think Mike may have had to just order more supplies, and then I'll get the stripes done.
Okay, and then the other, one I had Carol bring up, the light, the flashing light. You know how in downtown, we've got the three, the little,
Yeah.
those things say stop for traffic pedestrians. Well, we got the solar lights for the schools. If we had one of those at the very first section, that would be, one, it would look better. Two, it would be helpful. You're crossing the street
And Pratt,
at Pratt and yeah,
They're called rapid flashing beacons.
That's-
Would those be put in permanent in the
There's a
pavement?
new rule that you're not allowed to use them for traffic control, but we wouldn't really be.
But
using
isn't
them
it-
for
Wouldn't be
traffic
tra-
control
yeah.
there.
but it's not traffic, it's for
Wasn't-
pedestrians.
Right.
Weren't we getting something from Newark? They're used,
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, yeah,
The crosswalks.
Crosswalk.
I meant Phelan,
Yeah.
There's,
not Pratt, Phelan,
The middle one.
the middle one.
In the middle of the.
yeah, I think
downtown.
the fact that there's already a crosswalk there, I think we
That's-
would be okay with.
But I don't know what it was they were giving us.
All right, so
it wasn't an RFB, it was a temporary installation that would, it's sort of like a raised crosswalk installation that would be temporary, that we could put up just for a short amount of time as a trial and then decide if we wanted to use it more permanently.
Okay.
Based on that.
I
And
just
that was
remember.
in safety and service.
Oh, okay.
And that was to use ARP money. ARPA money.
No, there was, we were getting it for nothing.
no,
She's talking
her
about the
idea.
rapid-
Oh, the
Yeah.
rapid thing.
Yeah.
I think it was 10 grand for the two, so let's assume 5 grand plus installation cost.
I came up with the idea because I went up to Medina on Friday and they have them like, they're at that's a big square and in the middle of each square, they've got one of those solar flashing lights so the pedestrians can cross over. And that's where I came up with the
Is it
Granville
idea.
has one on
Is it in the
Broadway.
middle of the
Yeah,
street,
Granville
Cheryl?
has one.
Huh?
That's
Is it in the
true.
middle of the street?
No, it's on the sidewalks,
Mhm.
both sidewalks. So,
sides.
yeah, with the buttons, so people can push them to get them to go.
They have them over by the funeral home on.
Yeah, on
Yeah, that's where.
North Main Street.
Yeah, and the kids come up and press. the
Yeah,
buttons.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. and the
That's
cars are
exactly
supposed
what
to
I'm
stop.
talking about. It's what we have for the
I think one here,
schools.
though,
And years ago, there was a overhead light
Yeah.
there that hung and said pedestrian crossing
Right.
But during walk home.
and was lighted up.
I don't know. I've never paid
We
attention.
did it
I
for the
don't know
school
if
children.
it does or not,
Why
but I
can't we
thought
do
it
it for our
did.
business people and our people that customers that come to
We're doing it for the
Johnstown?
safety of the pedestrians.
Yeah, that's exactly that's what it is. Yeah,
No, we used the school's money.
Okay.
yeah,
But I like it.
No, we had them too. I like them.
yeah, I like
Yeah, I
them.
like them.
Well, how much are they? About 5,000 or how are they?
That's what Jim said.
Plus installation.
We had one in stock here, didn't we?
No, we used it.
Did you use it?
We used it. Yeah, we put we didn't know
One
we
that
were buying
blew
two.
over Or whatever.
What's that?
Didn't we have one that blew over and we traded them out or something?
Yeah, we had a new one installed through insurance, but the first one we bought it for Edwards and then 2 of them were delivered. And then we
We just
realized we
kept it.
bought 2. And then we put it up there at the high school crossing.
Is there any possibility that it could be put in the center of the street? I know that might be an obligation.
No, because the idea is that if you're standing here on the sidewalk, you push the button to get it to go.
Mhm.
That way, people know that someone's gonna come
You
across.
can put the button still on the side though and have it flash in the middle.
Oh,
I see,
I didn't know that.
I see so many people.
Snow plows and large
Oh,
vehicles
yeah.
will show it,
That,
That's
yeah.
such a small intersection.
It
I think
is.
being on the side of the street.
especially if we do a permanent
Raised. whatever.
shortening of that crossing. It'd be even better.
So would we look at taking this
Sure, we
out of
bump the
ARP money?
sidewalk out.
Yeah,
Um,
sure, it's economic development, isn't it?
To me, it
Well, it
is.
is. To me, it is just because you're trying to get more people. Wow.
Safe, to be
Safe.
safe.
Combination of both,
Yeah.
basically, but yes.
Well, while we're on downtown, I just want to,
Well, before we move, can I just get
sure,
a recommendation? I would say 7,500 just for installation cost as well, if you guys
You're
want
just
to do
gonna
that.
do one of them though?
Well, would you have to have
Do
two,
both.
one on both each side?
Well, I mean, are you gonna just do
Oh, sure.
one crosswalk or are you gonna do both?
We're gonna do
crosswalks?
we have
Gonna do-
2.
I don't think we should do the two that are close together. I
Not
think
that,
that's
no, we're talking
overkill.
about Pratt and Phelan.
Yeah.
You know what, I was gonna thought we try one first and see how it worked out and then,
Yeah, and we
Then
have
go to
money through 22 or something, so we could come back and say we want to get another one through the art
Mhm.
money.
and it might be, if they get the bourbon barn, then we probably need it over there
Yeah.
then, but,
When's that tax money gonna start coming in from downtown?
for what?
We haven't set up that district.
Haven't created it. It's on Tuesday night. I think the last,
No, he's talking about we're doing a revitalization district,
Oh.
which is liquor
which
licenses.
is
He's talking about redevelopment
Redevelopment.
district, which is the funneling of real estate.
of their own
dollars
tax.
Back into the downtown.
Oh,
That's not, that we haven't established that yet,
Okay.
but we could use that money to pay for that stuff. It's just, we haven't,
How much of that tax money can we grab with the?
it's the, whatever the increased value is. So you want to get it in while your stuff's crappy. And then as it increases in value, that's the money you're gonna capture, that difference.
I'm going to make a recommendation, a motion that we spend $7,500 towards putting what you call it,
Rapid flashing beacons.
that
Yes,
into
Right,
Rapid
RFBs.
flashing beacons.
crosswalk
RFBs.
signs.
Actually, yeah, we're gonna need two, right? So
yeah, we
we'll have
need
to,
two,
it'll be 10,000. No, I'll go 12.
go
'cause
12,
I'm making a recommendation for 12,000 for the rapid thing.
yeah. I'll second.
Aye.
Aye.
So
I concur.
we'll get those rapid flashing
wonder.
things.
No wonder I didn't know what to call them.
Blinkies.
Blinkies.
Blinkies, yeah, I like
The
that.
blinkies, yeah. Okay, well, that's good. Okay. Anything else about a downtown area?
I had a meeting with Nate or Matt Nickel about,
that?
and that's the
Lighting
lighting
guy.
guy who is gonna
Oh.
start doing the town hall
Okay, yes.
stuff soon.
Mhm,
And he is ordering, per your suggestion,
mhm.
2 light bulbs to try in the lights that lead to the town hall of the
Uh-huh.
sidewalk. He's gonna put those 2 in so that we can all come down and see it
Okay,
and
good.
decide what it
What we
is we
want.
want.
That's
Or
good.
do we want new fixtures or do we want whatever?
Yeah, this was
um,
coming from the trustees, so I just told Joe.
And because Troy had called me to say, can you guys do something about the lights down there because they're too bright and they're awful and they're harsh and all kind of things.
And
But
it takes away from seeing the,
of their what project that they're gonna do to
Right.
light the town hall. And I don't want to stand in the way of them spending money. So I said, sure, let's get 2 light bulbs and see what it looks like, and then we'll go from there. Because then we can determine how many lights we want to change out besides the sidewalks. We want to do both sides of the
so shall I
street.
go down with you when we?
So
yeah.
once he calls me and says they're in, then we'll take a look and figure out
Okay.
where we're going with
And
this.
we'll work together on this project?
Oh, absolutely. I
I mean, with,
mean, with our friends, the trustees?
Yes.
No, because it's their project. And we're just doing our part is the lights.
Yeah, we're
but
just
if
gonna
we
look at the
put new
lights.
lights in, I'm saying then are we working together? Because they have some of the lights down on the,
They have the lights. that
Square
goes
too.
down.
Well, they only have the ones on the sidewalk that we're talking about changing out the bulbs,
Yeah, we're just.
which is
talking
a
about
fall
changing out the
cheaper change than redoing new fixtures. Because all of our fixtures match right now. And I told him I don't want to change
We're
that
not
because I
changing
like,
that.
because
okay.
the fact that
They don't have the money to change.
they don't have, that would cost like $7,500 per light, and I don't want to do that.
Uh-uh.
A bulb
No, I don't
change
either.
is,
What we have looks fine.
a bulb
I
change
mean,
is
other
great.
than the bulb.
They're too bright. So, and there's one parking lot light that they're gonna ask us to change because it reflects on, it's too close to the building and will,
They don't even know because they don't have the lights up yet for sure,
but
but
then they're playing that,
In their plan,
that
okay.
light they know is gonna be bad.
Okay, so you brought the trustees up. What's happening with the fire department building?
At this point, they're not talking.
I talked to Joey.
Mhm.
I mean, I talked to him early on and he said, we're not talking about it till after the election's over.
That's what I heard. Yes. Okay.
You better leave it at
I
that.
said, Okay, I can
Yeah.
understand that.
Let's leave it at that, please.
We will.
We're not gonna stir everybody up and
Two other things with downtown, the family restaurant, I believe, is gonna be sold this week or next.
Mhm.
So the gentleman buying it came in, wants one of the revitalization district liquor licenses.
Really?
Mhm.
How
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay, this, the gentleman who bought it was Joey's next door neighbor for quite a few years. And so Joey ran into him and he told him that he was buying the restaurant and that this is what was told. He was going to keep it the same hours. So like, end at what, 2
breakfast
o'clock
and lunch.
and breakfast and lunch. I guess what I'm thinking, so, but he wants a liquor license. Where was it, mimosas or?
Right.
Bloody Marys.
Bloody Mary. So
Yeah.
anyway, but he is gonna, like, fix it up and the house that he built it's a beautiful home. So I do have, I feel good that I have good faith in him doing something.
And Tad Daughter talked to me about him too, and said he's one of his policy holders, and he says he's a great guy and he'll do really well, and
Yeah, so I do feel good about this.
so.
What was the other thing?
Kind of not related to downtown, but I talked to Nate Strum, who now is in Gahanna.
Yeah.
They are deploying 5G on all of their electric light poles. The
Really?
ones that AEP wanted to buy from us. So I think your hunch is confirmed. That's the purpose AEP was in here trying to buy our lighting system. That's what Gahanna's gonna do, is put the little nodes.
They're doing their own,
They're doing their own.
Huh.
controlled by the village or the city of
The
Gahanna.
CIC owns the broadband, so they're working with the CIC and utilizing the
Okay.
city's lights. I'm sure there's details that I can find out, but
Our hunch was right.
yes.
Well, that's good.
And then also Horizon was back in last week, told me they plan to have fiber to the home, all homes, by third quarter of next year.
Really?
200 upload, 200 meg download, $99 a month, no limits on speed. And if you want more, you can buy more. I think you can buy 25 meg for $69. Continuous upload and download speeds. And that'll be in all the
And
neighborhoods.
they would offer down the road television service
It will be, no, it will be
Oh.
that day.
that day,
Oh,
Streaming.
Straight, yeah. They would,
streaming, but not
not
not like
Cable.
Spectrum.
I don't know how that works. I don't know.
I don't know how it works either.
Because Horizon doesn't have TV
So they're offering it for $99 a month for the cable.
But I think
for
over,
200 meg download for
Yeah.
fiber.
I'm on 204 a month now.
And
And for what
yeah,
speed?
mine's 220.
I pay 69 for 20 meg.
Yeah.
This is gonna be 10 times as fast as that for 50%.
Yeah, when you get older, it don't have to be so fast.
Well, what's good
I
is
take naps.
wait for someone to
The
download.
thing that,
Power naps.
Well, the good thing is we have no cost in it. The only thing they asked us is just work with us on permitting, because I told them, you're not cutting Jersey Street, you're not cutting Concord Road. You can more or less take out Track Street and Casson and just repave it nicely. We would appreciate it. So.
So what
this
I'm
time-
understanding is this would be about encouraging streaming because a lot of people are cutting the cable and just streaming.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like Spectrum. Both the internet providers and the TV providers, there's a lot of discontent with continuity of service, and unless someone, even if the power goes out, you'll still have internet.
Right.
If you have a laptop or something, unless someone cuts that fiber, you're not gonna lose
plus,
your internet.
Do you have cable?
Is this Verizon?
That age group,
Horizon.
Verizon.
that age group does not have cable. My
No, you're right,
kids,
they don't.
we cut cable.
The only
Yes.
reason we would want cable
Yes.
is for sports games, so we just pay for the sports networks during sports season.
Yeah.
Yes, and we'll be made whole, like, so right now, if you subscribe to a TV provider that's paying a franchise fee, they would make us whole, because technically if they drop off, if Chip drops a company that pays the franchise fee, we're losing money. So then they would make us whole on that as well.
That's good to know.
That's good. 'Cause we're not out anything.
Horizon.
Or rise.
Horizon.
Now, we'll also, they provided me to connect the buildings, our 4 buildings, and it was crazy. I was like, nah, ain't happening. We can't do it in our budget. By, I don't want to say agreeing to do this, that cost will come down because they're gonna be in town doing all that work. They're gonna hook us up
They
here.
want our cooperation, we should get free service for our 4 buildings.
That'll come.
Tell them to add the school, raise the school
Leverage.
price.
That'll be. in
They
that
can build a
discussion.
school.
Huh?
We can build a
I said,
school.
raise the schools prices.
Yeah, right.
They got plenty of money from the law.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, obviously, we're in a public meeting. We haven't announced it yet, but we gotta work with their engineers to figure out the path. And
Sure.
he said, you know, all the neighborhoods will have it. He goes, the one-offs, because Teresa's like, I want it, and they're not gonna get out there.
Mhm.
But to say we have fiber to the home
Cool.
without investment,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
pretty
pretty
big.
great.
exceptional.
And fiber to the home also means fiber to the business.
Into the business.
yeah. Okay, well, we talked about there's really nothing else on CIC. Is there, Jim?
No,
No.
one other thing on
Okay.
downtown.
That's all right.
You are aware of the Ghost Rider Hotel?
Yes.
We were never told that was gonna be public.
Well, none of us knew.
So I had Bailey draft a amendment to the zoning ordinance because I think it's still appropriate. I mean, don't.
Oh,
I say
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Planning and zoning tabled it.
What?
What? Oh,
So
last night? I mean,
Tuesday.
Tuesday night?
So I think it was simple. It was a simple
Right.
amendment, wasn't it, Bailey? It was just
Yeah,
adding
it was just
hotel.
adding hotel motel to the list of businesses that are allowed.
This goes back to my comment about, you know, technically we should go in there and say, shut it down.
Yeah,
Technically,
but
I
I
don't
don't
know.
want to.
Exactly. So we're trying to work, not really with them. We're just trying to take care of something that's cleaned up.
Bring it to council on Tuesday night
I
and
was
just,
gonna ask
we'll
you if
do
you
it.
want me to bring. it
I'll
to
be
council.
happy to do it. I'll make the motion.
2 reading.
That's all right.
Unless you pass
No,
an
we'll do
emergency.
it by emergency.
I don't think it qualifies
And-
as that.
and
Chip.
It
those-
wouldn't qualify as an
I
emergency,
would
just to
not.
make a point.
Just to make a point, yeah. You can, let's have that discussion. I wouldn't do it by emergency.
Okay.
All right.
It's not an emergency.
So-
By calling.
Oh,
They don't
I intend to after. I
They're
didn't
not
know.
open yet.
No,
They don't,
You can start,
you can,
Can talk.
but they don't, I thought it said it wasn't till October something.
right, by the time we pass it, we need to have something.
No, I know, but I'm saying they're okay right now because they're not open yet for, you know, and you can reserve, but they're not really
They
open.
had their
and
lights
doing-
on. It looked nice. I haven't seen it yet.
Now, my question is, being finance, is there a way we can impose a lodging tax?
absolutely. I got to talk to Dana. Again, it wasn't on the top of my radar because I
No.
thought it was private, but yeah, we do need to impose the
That's
lodging
what I
tax.
thought.
Yes, and
Because
there's
right
a
now they're gonna
county.
pay it to Lincoln County.
Yeah, so we need
We
to
need
do
to
that.
recoup it.
We
Yeah.
need to
Was it
take our
10%
part.
to the county? Is that what it is? Wait a minute, no, Julie and I were trying to look this up last night. Well, I think it was
it's 8.
Columbus. It was like for Columbus, it was 10%. 6% went to Columbus, 4% went to the county. So however Licking County's set up.
But that's what goes to explore Licking County is the
Oh, is
lodging
it?
tax.
Yeah,
Okay.
we would have to then direct our lodging tax to, we could give it to downtown Johnstown. We could do our own things with it
Okay,
that promote tourism.
yeah,
Oh, that reminds me, there's a car show this Sunday,
yeah.
downtown Johnstown.
Yeah.
I'm not part of it, but
I hope they don't get the lawns messed up.
Did you get their event permit?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm out of the picture with downtown Johnstown now.
We'll have to talk to.
None of
Sharon.
us are.
You'll
Other than
need to
Sharon.
talk to Sharon.
Yeah.
Which,
Craig's still involved.
Yeah, Craig. Yeah.
Scott Schaefer is the president.
so anyhow.
Okay, let's
So
move
I
on.
will have it in your hands Tuesday night.
Okay,
I was gonna
good.
do it anyway, but I'm glad you guys are on board with it.
Well, and I want to say, they do, the Blake Myers do everything right. So I don't think they did this
I don't think so.
maliciously
Absolutely
at
not.
all.
No.
Absolutely not.
No, I was thinking, they told us that it was for clients. In my mind, it was people they do business with Crowworks, but the word client can mean any person.
Anybody's client.
So it's,
Well, and then they put it out there, you can start reserving.
yeah,
Right.
so, yeah.
Anything else on downtown?
Well, Henson's got a new awning.
It looks
nice.
Yeah.
It does look nice,
Yeah.
yes.
No, that's all I think we have.
Okay. I think we pretty much, I don't think there's anything else with the CIC since we're still waiting for the IRS. The mobility hub we have talked about. Project Mastodon, is there
Yeah.
anything
Are
there?
they gonna ever announce that they're building a new factory?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I
because
don't,
people have been grabbing me saying, what's that fence out there? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Tech's building a new factory.
I think their focus has shifted to the project we're working on with them.
But they are, it's progressing. I mean, Kokosing is out there drinking dirt and building a
Yeah.
factory, so.
People were saying, oh, this is because of the road. I'm like, no,
No,
right.
and you haven't heard anything from the marijuana folks
Yeah,
about the addition to their building?
I think they're gonna add 45,000 square feet.
I mean, they told us that when
they're
they
interested.
came in and met with
They
us.
told us they're talking about it, but they haven't said any
They haven't
plans
said
or
anything.
timeline.
Because they were supposed to be adding employees too. That's
That parking lot's jam packed today.
what I was wondered when they're gonna start building their building and also how many employees they were gonna add.
Don't expect a 1-for-1 though. Like,
No, I just,
there'll be some additional employees, but it won't be.
no, you know.
So as you're driving down Commerce, are you talking on the left or the right?
Left,
Okay, where
Curaleaf.
Curaleaf
Apex used to be.
used to be, right.
Okay,
Because when they were in here, she talked about adding office space in the front. And then an addition in the back of, so I don't know how many thousand square
They
feet.
were gonna build it out, I think, right? Because there was 3 more additions they could do. They were gonna do all 3.
All 3 additions in the back.
And the state gave them the go ahead yesterday.
and I see the state is gonna maybe allow more dispensaries. Do we
Right.
have any interest here that we know of yet?
I don't think we have the population to support.
I don't
it.
think so either. In fact, a earlier article, they were still sort of trying to space them out, and I think they wanted more in Delaware County. I don't know if Delaware County has any,
I don't think they did.
so. Okay, let's go on to number 9, the water sewer extension and Croton people, I mean, the village of Croton doesn't seem real enthused about it.
They met Rick Black on Tuesday night with the village council and their administrator. And I guess from what I've been told, the meeting didn't go haywire. It went well enough that they're not saying no. I think they'll only say yes if we get the grant money.
Mhm.
They're not going to impose it on themselves.
What I tell you,
So
to start with.
Right.
Do you think their problem is that they think Johnstown's going to take them over?
No, I think their problem is resident A through Z can't afford $10,000 to tap on. I think is what the big problem is.
Okay,
The big problem is they have negative attitude in that whole district.
Yeah.
all right.
So we canceled the meeting tonight, or I guess I did.
Yeah.
Until we know more. Frazier told me yesterday that Representative Frazier said that 2 weeks we should have the first round of approvals. Whether that's us or not, I don't know, but
Okay.
that's when we should expect it.
All right, other business.
Okay, so I have some, and it goes with one of our goals. Number 3, develop common purpose with Park and Rec Committee to promote Park and Rec amenities, ecotourism. So
Eco.
eco, thank you. You get to correct me once in a while, don't you?
Fair enough.
So 3 of you don't have one of these yet, but Bailey has one and Jim has one. So this is just a little start to kind of promote and market the shelter or the park. And then if you would go to the website, I made them all public, but they need a lot of work still. So if you see parks, it shows all the different parks. And if you go to the Trailhead Park, I think that's the one that maybe looks best at the moment, but it needs more work. But my idea was to get more, keep going, more photos so that people might want to check out some things there. So it's a start of
Right.
also promoting the parks.
This is nice.
Oh, it's real nice, Carol. Would you have it print?
Well, there's a company called Canva that's online. My niece told me about it. Then I talked to Jim and he signed us up as a village. And so then he gave me access to go out there and play. This was all playing. Move this, move that. And I do have some requests for if we do any more, which I kind of want to see what you think about more of these. But if you go to the food and shopping up in the left-hand corner, Jim corrected me again and said restaurant.
It's backwards.
Backwards.
But I said, well, yeah, I didn't catch that at all because what I did, you can flip these pictures. So I didn't like the people being on the left, so I flipped them. And then, of course,
Didn't like people on the left?
I didn't like, they were going off the side of the
Oh,
the
They're
page.
falling off the,
Yes,
Or-
they were falling off. Then I also, on the front, I was asked to put, and I'm going to do this, to put our logo on the bottom right. Jim thinks we should always, brand with our logo. And then Bailey said we should have the village web address.
yeah.
So I'm going to put that under the address there.
Okay.
So anyway, we ordered 100 and they were $49 for the 100. And I gave some to Laura in case somebody comes in and says, I want to know more about, where's this Trailhead Park? She could give them a copy of this.
I'll talk to you after this meeting about the other brochure.
Okay. So any interest in, should we just see how this goes? I think I can also put these on the website and show this.
These were 4,900.
It was going to be, I was only going to get 50 to start with, and that was $27. And then I thought, oh, well, let's see what 100 does. And that was 49. So yeah, as you order more, it does go down in price per unit.
And I think in the budget, I think I put in a couple extra $100, maybe even 1,000 for print and marketing. Because I think it's important to get other people to spend their money here.
We could also, on these if you wanted to, like the other brochure just talking about, see if the businesses will pay for them too.
Yeah. I'm not sure who's going to do that. I cannot do that one.
I will, you mean the brochure,
The brochure, the big brochure, like the one from.
that's what I want to talk to you about.
Okay, but I was thinking, like I'm gonna pass some of these out at council, so the ones who don't have one of these, but I just thought,
I like it, Carol.
I don't know if we
So-
should,
When, I know they've been putting the fence up, because I saw part of it. Have we got a proposed completion date?
No, but I'll call him. And ask him.
So once the fence is done, we have our signs, I know, and
We have the waste station, so it's pretty much ready to go.
Okay,
once the fence is done.
once the fence is done,
We have a ribbon cutting or something.
We should, yeah.
I'm like,
Ribbon cutting.
you know,
Does anybody have a
Park
dog to
district.
bring? I don't have a
Yeah.
well, it
dog.
I
depends
got
on,
two.
I bring, Freckles will come,
I'll bring
Who's
some cats
Freckles?
too.
my sister's dog,
Oh, okay.
my ward.
To
Bring
make
a
it more
dog.
exciting, I'll bring my cats.
No,
Oh, no.
It's a dog park.
I know,
no.
but you put the cats in there with the dogs.
Oh,
Then
No,
you'll
no,
get some
no, no,
action.
no.
Do we? Okay, just wondered.
So are you getting the restaurant changed, Carol, before any more printed?
I'm gonna do those three things that,
Okay.
And
Well,
put our-
if you
put our
want any more.
logo.
do you want any more? And if you do, how many?
Yeah, that was my thought of putting it in the budget because we could put these out front. We could put them at Dashing Diner. We could put them
Put
at,
'em at the family
Ghost Rider
restaurant,
or-
Ghost
Library.
Rider, library.
I know what Carol's doing. She's being selective because we only have 100
Right.
right now, but
How much would 500 cost us?
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
We
it
do
should be
500
cheaper.
and give them to the businesses downtown.
Right, especially their restaurants where people stop in.
Yeah, the retail, the active
Yeah.
retailers
active
also.
Uh-huh.
retail.
I'm sending you a picture that I'm hoping you can put up
Horseshoe.
here because I want to talk about it. Since we're all over the place here today.
Good. It's a good, yeah, so that would be my thought is we just,
Order 500 once I
once it's fixed,
fix those three, add those three things.
you text it to me or email it?
I texted it.
Did you put the logo and the wheel on the bicycle?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just move it over a little bit. So.
You could play all day on this, which I kind of did.
It looks nice. Thank you.
I don't know how I should have emailed it to you because then you could have it on your
I'm just
computer.
gonna airdrop it to my.
I want to show a picture that I took when I was taking pictures down at the trailhead to see if, and Jack's not here, but Jack, this is Jack's department. It's a couple things. Cheryl actually told me about the corrugated pipe that's down there just lying out and looks kind of junky. And then you'll see the weeds behind it. So
Where's that?
if you're down at the shelter house and you look towards the housing development, yeah, it's just a matter of.
It's just a pipe. that
But
needs
I
to be
told
mounted.
Cheryl I would get on it and then we didn't have our meeting. So I didn't get to talk
Okay.
to it about it last Thursday. There it is.
Mike and I ordered a trash can for the shelter house.
Oh,
Oh,
bad.
good.
Yeah, and the weeds, what's the, with the weeds?
Well, that's where that concrete was and
I thought the concrete was gone.
yeah, I'm not sure what the deal
We just
is.
don't know what you
Is
guys want
underneath
us to
there?
do there, so we haven't done anything.
Okay.
there.
Mow it.
Got the,
Well, we have to get a bulldozer. There's,
If you
That's
want it to
dirt.
just be mowed down and grass, it probably needs to have some dirt moving done. Yeah.
okay.
I see
Some
Jack has,
leveling off and stuff.
he's had some dirt dumped down there, somebody has.
yeah, I think that's the dirt coming from the water tower site. Because it
And-
needs to be,
Jack does plan, right, we want to put a head-in parking lot in front of the dog park, so he needs to do
On
earthwork
Douglas,
there.
Douglas Street.
Oh, good.
so,
Yeah, we
I
wanna
mean,
get
he
rid of
does
that.
plan on
We
doing
didn't have a
some.
meeting last week, so we
dirt
never
moving.
got to talk about it.
I'll send this picture to Mike today.
You know what?
and Get him that.
I mean, I've seen the Johnstown trucks go back and forth and they just leave it sitting there,
So
so,
leave it.
I'll talk to you about that later.
okay.
Well, we were gonna put paving.
Now,
It's attractive.
to put something on the plus side of the ledger for those guys, they did get the bike station
Yeah.
put in and the cement. They did a great job with that. I noticed in Concord Crossing, they have started filling holes and patching those streets down there,
Yeah.
which have been in horrible condition.
know.
And
I
they
think
look
it's just an
nice. So I just wanted to
oversight.
put something on
Oh,
the
I
plus
know,
side.
and that's
So-
why,
I know.
I don't want to.
It's not like, I mean, they got a dump truck and they're
Oh,
going
I
right
know.
by it. I'm like, just.
Stop and pick it up.
Well, I did want to ask
Anyway.
if there's a plan to, once the dog park is in there, they keep traveling down through there
We'll have to
with
close that.
tracks, dirt tracks, to get down to do the dog park and off of the current parking lot. So I was
Oh.
wondering if we were gonna close that off eventually.
Yes.
Yeah, Jack and I would. We're thinking it would be a nice place for walking off from that parking lot over to the dog park.
Oh,
or
I like that
something.
idea.
Say that again. I was like
This one,
dreamland here. Oh, yeah.
No, oh, yeah, that's it, that's
So what are
it,
we
yeah.
gonna do with that?
It could just be mulch.
A mulch
Oh.
path.
So it's like, yeah, people drive over it now. We
I
want to
know
really
they do.
discourage
Yeah,
that.
there's-
So we were thinking of turning it into like a pedestrian, just a narrow pedestrian path
Okay.
from, then you could walk over by
To
the
get over
shelter
to the-
house and you can walk over to the dog park and
Okay.
Actually, there are people using it to do that walk.
walk. Yeah.
I've seen,
But there
yeah.
are people doing it to drive across.
And
Yeah,
drive,
they are
yes.
driving across.
But-
I think the dog park people that are making the dog park, I think they
Yeah,
were using
they
that
were, I
too.
think.
Yeah, they were.
So
I go down there and sit while I'm walking.
do we need to do a vote to
No,
say
because
we
they-
want to spend, we
there's
want to do
wheelchair
500 more?
accessible.
Is that it?
Tapped into the shelter house already.
no, I can figure out where to find it.
Okay.
It's, as long as y'all, I'll get it figured out. If I gotta come back for money, I'll ask you, but we'll pay it from our budget.
Anything else or are we about done for the
This has
meeting?
been really educational for me.
Good.
I'll have to try to come.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. It's hard for us to keep up and where's Jack today? Usually he's here.
I see.
Oh,
Golfing.
golfing.
Then he'll be back for a week and then he's going
I'm gonna
on
talk to you and Jack about.
Virgin
I
Islands.
need to find out from Jack when.
wow.
Using all that
paving's
extra
gonna be done, because
vacation,
we don't
huh?
wanna Plant them until after paving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when
Oh,
we
yeah.
adjourn, I want to
But
talk to you about
probably
that.
Okay.
it's too late to plant those trees this
Let's
year.
go ahead and adjourn then this meeting.
I
You can plan for-
I move that we adjourn.
Second, aye. So we are now adjourned.
How long would you
You
need
wanna-
between like
Stop.